Hello. The case study I chose to do was the one titled Walling Off or Welcoming In. It was a case study about, I took it as kids having opinions or outside opinions and views from outside of school that they were bringing to school. There was a couple examples of students bring their opinions to school and making other kids feel uncomfortable, like they're discriminated against or being bullied or harassed. Um, But first, I think a lot of times kids, especially in this case study, the one I was going to focus on involves first grade boys. And I think sometimes when they hear things outside of school or like on TV or from their parents, they don't fully understand what they're saying or what they're hearing. They just repeat what they hear. Well, you need to help them understand if it's school appropriate to go over and talk about it with them. I have to help them understand what they're talking about. If it's not school appropriate, if it's something like religion or politics, I know politics is at a young age, it's hard to understand, or any other things that really don't really belong in school, we can just kind of address it, but not give our opinions about it, and just let them talk to their parents about what it really means or how their family views it. Um, The committee in the example was talking about boundaries, but I was thinking that instead of putting boundaries on what the kids can talk about or bring to school, they need the boundaries, but they also need to be more educated and understand, as I was saying, what they're talking about. Um, the one, the one that I want to focus on was the one about the boys. They were having their playtime in the classroom. The teacher stated that she doesn't usually intervene with playtime. They let the kids play. But these boys were building a wall across the room out of Legos. And then they started a chant, build the wall, build the wall, build the wall, because it was either something they heard on TV or something from their parents was influenced them. So the teacher had to intervene and kind of not give her views about what they were saying, but intervened because there was other students in the class that were feeling uncomfortable. Um, but instead, when the teacher intervened, instead of telling her no, that they'll know that's wrong, we don't do that, or telling them that's their their views or their opinions or wherever they heard it from was wrong, she before she reacted, she like checked herself to make sure she wasn't putting her opinion in their heads, and she just started asking them questions so to get the boys thinking more deeply about it. Like, why build the wall? And she didn't just ask the boys, she asked the entire class. So some some of the answers were they just want to build a wall and just play with their friends or to feel safe or keep bad things out. And then these boys said they want to keep the Mexicans out. Clearly, to me, it sounds like something they heard or something they were pre-programmed to say. But then she went on to ask why, because then the boys said, when she asked why, the boys said, because they're taking our jobs. Um, and instead of giving her opinions and stuff, she tried to ask the boys what their jobs were. Just ask all the kids what their jobs were. And they said they don't know. So the teacher told them to be a kid, have fun, enjoy life. And there's nobody that could take that from them. So, I mean, I don't know what happened after the class, but she handled it well. She put everybody at ease, gave them everybody different ideas of what the wall could be for, um, and addressed it without putting her own opinions and beliefs into the conversation. So, I thought that was really good by her. And all of us as teachers, we need to constantly have active listening during our classes, whether it's during an assignment or play or a game, where we need to pay attention so that we can see, even if it's unintentional bullying or harassment, that we can address it and help to keep it from getting out of control. Because if you can nip it early, it stops early. But I think the big thing is to educate them, make sure they know what they're talking about, make sure they're understanding what they're saying. But also let them know that they still do have opinions in the classroom. We need to make sure it's school appropriate. It doesn't make people uncomfortable. I mean, in later grades, and like maybe high school or middle school, or even in college, it might be like debates, class debates about sensitive topics, or debate teams might have to cover sensitive topics, or topics make people make uncomfortable. But in first grade classroom, everybody should be it should be an inclusive classroom and not make anybody feel like they're being bullied or harassed. Um, and that's just kind of what I took from it, and that's the kind of environment that our school tries to create for everybody, and I try to create in my classroom. Um, that's about it. And here is the link for the article that I took it from. So.